And welcome to the Business Spotlight. I'm Pat Dewar. Today, I've got Orrin Rudolph in the room with me. He is my guest. He's been a mentor of mine. He's been a coach. He's been someone that I've watched for the last 5 years, though. He's been a speaker and author and so many other things to thousands of people all over the country for so much longer. I mean, when I found out that he'd spoken to well over 100,000 people in like a year, okay, that's pretty cool. But he's done that for over 10 years, and he has touched the nation, changing lives. And so I'm really glad to have you on the air today, Orrin. Thank you so much.
Thank you, Pat. It's great to be here with you.
You know, one of the things I love to do with successful business owners and coaches and mentors of mine is to ask them, how did you get to where you're at? In other words, what's your story that you've been able to create so much amazing success?
Well, Pat, that's a good question. There's just so many things, but it starts really with my speaking. Right? I really had a passion to speak. I've always loved to speak. It amazes me. People don't love to speak. They say that it's the biggest fear in people's minds is to stand in front of people and speak. And that's always been my gift and my talent, is to really stand up and captivate an audience and really share what's in my heart. So I knew that was a vehicle that I had to utilize in order to get whatever the message that I was passionate about across to people. One of those vehicles was my passion and my power of speaking. But it was, I did that for free for many years. And
I know the feeling well.
I would speak for free. And I still remember I was sitting in a car outside of I was doing grocery shopping, and I'd been involved in insurance when I'd moved here from South Africa. And I was sitting there and going, do I really want to sell insurance for the rest of my life? And I'm not saying that for those of you who do sell insurance, that's
no knock on the insurance
that's
crap.
not knock, but you've got to have your passion of what you want, and that wasn't my passion. I didn't enjoy it. I was doing great. I was one of the number one salesmen in the company that I was working in at that time. But was that really what I wanted to do? Was that my passion? And I still remember I was sitting in my car and I was listening to a cassette tape. Do you remember those?
Too well.
Exactly.
You used to wear the words off them.
And the cassette tape was was a guy by the name of, because I was listening to this because of my insurance and sales, a guy by the name of Zig Ziglar.
Oh yeah, I know. I've met him.
Yeah, that's right. You have. I've seen him and gone to his stuff. I've never had the privilege of meeting him, but I was listening to Zig, and he said something. He said, if you're passionate about something, if you love something, but you can also use that to get paid, if you could get what you're passionate and earn a living from it, what an amazing opportunity. And I was like, I probably should have known this, but a light went on, and I said, what am I good at? Speaking. Can I earn a living? And that was the start of my journey. And I look back now, that was probably about 12 or 13 years ago. And of course, I'll answer more to that question that you asked. But I look back at the journey, and that's what I'm doing. I'm making a living, doing what I'm passionate about. And what I'm passionate about is speaking, but I'm using it as a vehicle to help others, because my passion is to see people succeed, to see churches, to see people out there grab life by both hands. I'm trying to think of the word here, to grab life by both hands and really just run with life and enjoy life. And I use my speaking as a vehicle. So that was a long way to say that. But I wanted to kind of take you back, because it wasn't always like that.
That's good. So I guess what I'd love to know is how could somebody learn more about you real quick? Just what's the website is?
It's the website is orrinrudolph.com, and my email is coach, COACH, at orrinrudolph.com is the email. Those are two ways that you can get a hold of me. Those are two ways you can find out more about me. You can you can see me on Facebook at Orrin Rudolph on Facebook, and you can see me on LinkedIn at Orrin Rudolph on LinkedIn. or the Orrin Rudolph on LinkedIn. But those are some ways that I'm available as well.
So I know that even on your website, you have some video of you speaking and teaching. And I know that one of the things that you're real passionate about is what you wrote your book on, which is Let It Go, and it has to do with forgiveness. We have a whole show on that. If you haven't seen it, check it out. It's on our YouTube or whatever by now. And but I just want to say, when someone reaches out to you, what's three quick things, just three things that you would want them to be able to walk away with from an encounter with you? Just real quick, three things.
So if somebody reaches out to me, three things that they could, walk away with. One, that when they walk away, they know that I'm going to reawaken passion in their lives and in those that I speak to. Two, that they're going to walk away knowing that they are going to be able to identify areas in their lives that are holding them back from the successes that they've always wanted, and how to remove those obstacles in order for them to be able to reach their successes. And three, to experience an incredible freedom, not only if they're a Christian, a freedom within Christianity, not feeling that there's a God out there who's wanting to throw a lightning bolt to fry them every time they make a mistake, or so a real freedom. They walk away with peace and freedom.
Okay, thanks so much. This is the Business Spotlight. We'll be right back. Stick around. Welcome back to the Business Spotlight. I'm Pat Dewar. Today I've got Orrin Rudolph on the show, and one of the things I'm really thankful for him is that he's been able to really create such massive change in the lives of people around the country. And in this section, he's a speaker, author, pastor, even. And one of the things that I want to get into in this one is, what are you doing to really create the success you're having? You're living your love, the thing that you love, and you're being able to send an invoice, which is cool. But what are you doing to create the success you're having?
Thank you, Pat. It's good to be on your show. One of the things that I believe that I'm doing is keeping my faith strong, and not just, one of the things that I see people, I could be driven, I could be disciplined. I mean, all the normal things
Sure.
that most people would tell you. Well, how are you successful? Well, I'm disciplined, I'm driven, I'm doing all these things. But, being real to who I am is so critically important, not only to me, but I believe to everyone else, is not putting on a mask, not putting on a fake persona, but just being who you are, being true to yourself, and being true to the one that created you. And I believe that my success is tied to my faith. Right. And so that is the first thing that I believe in is that if you are disconnected with the one that created you, you can have a level of success, but honestly, you cannot have true success, because when you disconnect, life flows from the one that created you. And so I've got to live that life, and I've got to have that connection. If I disconnect, I lose the life. So true to myself, connected to my God, and connected to my family, and allowing those that I love to speak into my life. Right. It's so key. My wife is also very successful in what she does. She's a physical therapist. She runs a physical therapy practice, and she teaches me more than anyone else in the whole aspect of discipline and being driven and motivated. Because I promise you, there are times that I'm not motivated. There are times I've got this interesting personality. I'm creative and I do all the creative things. But, one of my weaknesses has always been that I'm great at starting something, But finishing stuff can be sometimes a real pain for me. And that is what my wife is. She's good at starting and she's good at finishing. So, listening to others that are different, that have strengths in your life that you don't have. No man is an island. And if you hold yourself as an island, you've got blind spots. There are areas you don't know you're weak in, but allowing those that actually have a stake in the game, that actually care for you, not just any Tom, Dick, or Harry, but people that really care for you, to allow them to speak into your life. One of my reasons for my success is I allow people to speak into my life, people that I know have skin in the game. They're not just some person out there going, because we get a lot of those. As a speaker, you're a speaker, I'm a speaker. There are a lot of people out there that are quick to criticize. I'm not interested in criticism. I'm interested in a constructive, real, this is a blind spot, and I care enough about you to tell you.
Yeah. It's interesting because this keeps coming up in my mind, is that, we talk about your faith and things of that nature, and having been someone that has gone through massive church damage. Mm-hmm. I mean, the stuff that I know I've walked through.
Right.
And yet I do understand that letting it go was a big deal.
Right.
Even beyond that, it's how to reconnect. Mm-hmm. It's because many people I know that they have faith in something, but you may not understand why certain things went down the way they did.
Yes.
And I was like, at one point I thought, man, what did I do to tick off the creator of the universe?
Right.
And so, when people reach out to you and they connect to your real, authentic, passionate, and faithful life, are there things that you would, are there steps that you would walk them through that would help them mm-hmm. to begin to reconnect in a way that's easy? I want to say easy, not painless, but
my real passion, and that's once again good question. My real passion, Pat, is to see people really separate the whole concept of religion versus relationship. And I know that's been heard over and over again, but the problem is that there are a lot of people sitting in some sort of religious, organizational, and there's nothing wrong with those things, but many times if they don't have the relationship, it's all just, as I said, it's that not connecting to the real life-giving, real life sustaining passion that they have. It's just this sit in a pew, clap my hands stuff. And so my real passion, one of my real passions, is to be able to go into churches, to go into organizations, go into anywhere and really separate people from the organizational type religion to firstly experiencing the relationship. That has to come first, and the life that brings.
Well, I couldn't agree with you more. This is Pat Dewar. We're in the Business Spotlight. Orrin Rudolph's my guest, and we're talking about how to really break free of some of the things that are holding you back to live your purpose, your passion, to step into freedom in every area of your life. I know that if you really want to get a hold of Orrin, I encourage you to go to orrinrudolph.com. We've got one more section on the show today. Thank you so much for being here. Watch for the next part where we really dive deeper into the other things that Orrin does with his clients. We'll be right back. Welcome back to the Business Spotlight. This is Pat Dewar. I'm here with Orrin Rudolph. We've been talking about living your purpose, your passion, letting go of those things that get in your way, And Orrin, I know that in this segment, I would love to go deeper into the things that you deliver to your clientele. Like I really want to know first, maybe the audience might want to know who is an ideal person for you to work with, and maybe they might know them, or that they could introduce you to them.
Thanks, Pat. There are a few different areas that I deal with within my passion and within my business and within my speaking. I deal with pastors and churches. My deal is churches and pastors who are wanting to see more of a freedom within their church, to be able to see real freedom come. And when I say freedom, not the weight that I see so many pastors walk under, this struggle, you call it almost a foot pump. They've got all these plans to grow their churches, to build their churches, to develop their churches, and they're pumping their foot like a foot pump. And man, I tell you what, they get tired. They get worn out. I see pastors burned out, frustrated. And that's one of my real passions, is to help them to get free from that foot pumping, to get things working, and to be able to really move into a real freedom and a real expression of their faith, where they can get back to why they really went into ministry in the first place, to see the congregation find that same freedom with Christ. So that is one of the areas that I work with a lot.
Can I ask, because one of the things that I would say would be such an easy snap-on because of your book, Let It Go, the audio, the material that you're creating for churches to use as study groups. Don't you believe that the unforgiveness and the backbiting and the things that distract ministry from being able to serve, that they feel like they're filling cracks all the time? They're kind of fighting this whirlwind.
Yes. It's almost like that story about that little boy at the dike in Holland trying to plug all the holes to stop the water coming through.
Yeah, that's my image.
And a lot of times that's what a lot of pastors are doing. And many times these pastors and these congregation people are carrying their own weights into the whole situation. It's kind of like marriage, right?
Oh, yeah.
You got two people coming together in a relationship, and they're both carrying their backpacks of weights. And now suddenly they've got to create this new relationship together. And what makes it harder is the weights that they are carrying. Well, that can cross from marriages to organizations, to pastors and ministries as well. And so letting go is an absolute necessity in that whole area. But a lot of people don't know how to let it go. They know how to use it. They use it as a spell. Oh, I forgive the person. Abracadabra, wave my wand, boom, done.
But there's no release of charge. No. They're still just as angry and upset with that person as they ever were.
Exactly. And so with my book, I as we spoke in our interview a while back, it's so critical to learn how to do it effectively, because you can do it effectively and really get free, or you can just, as you say, not release the charge. And
it's a process. It's a process.
An absolute process.
But
yes.
I do see where that kind of the coaching that you do would fit into ministry, but any leadership position.
Exactly.
I mean, if you're a manager, if you're an owner of an organization, of a company, and you know that on the way to building your company to the level it's at right now, man, there's some baggage back there.
Absolutely.
There's some pain. And
if you don't lay that foundation, if you don't lay the foundation and the cracks, we know this in buildings, if the foundation is not strong, the whole building is going to come down. And whatever that building you're building, be it you're trying to build a strong family, a strong church, a strong organization, or a strong individual. I do a lot of one-on-one coaching with individuals, be it in coaching to help people sell product in the back of the room when they're doing seminars, or be it coaching relationships and marriages and families. Whatever the coaching that I'm doing on one-on-one, I always go to the root. And if we don't deal with the root, if we don't deal with finding and identifying areas that in the future could be potential pitfalls, and we gloss over that, later on, no matter how much good work and progress we've worked within that organization or church, there's going to be an issue.
You know, one of the things that it's hard for a lot of people to really connect the dots on this one, and I'm sure you guys will do just fine. But when you said selling the back of the room, that's persuasion, folks. It's not getting people to do something they don't want to do. It's helping them, encouraging them to activate, take action, and do what they want to do, to live free. And I believe that so many leaders really need to learn how to be more persuasive, more influential, increase their relationships and their rapport with others. And if we don't, we really are damaging ourselves. And what I hear is that, and actually what I know about you, because of your, you coached me, and when I finally stepped out and went into a national contract and started doing training, you took me to Rookie of the Year the first year, and it was awesome. Thank you. But even beyond that, I know that people can get that from you.
Yes.
And so you would want people to do what right away? You'd want them to at least go to your website or get on your calendar, or what?
Yes. They need to go to my website. They can find how to connect with me on my website. As I said earlier, they can go to my email. They can also give me a call on my business number.
Yeah, I'll have that up there.
Yeah, it's 903-241-1196. They can get a hold of me there, and we can connect. I'm not going to say that I'm going to, have the time immediately. I am really busy, but I have a passion to help people. So connect with me.
Okay, very good. This is the Business Spotlight. I'm Pat Dewar. We'll be right back. And welcome to the Business Spotlight. I'm Pat Dewar. I'm interviewing Orrin Rudolph. One of the things I am so grateful for Orrin is that I know the impact of his coaching, his mentoring in my life. But I also have seen him touch the nation in so many ways in the last 5 years. And there's so many new things that he's bringing out and expanding what he's been doing. I know you talk 30, 40 years, 30, 40 weeks a year?
Around about 100 probably about 120 days a year of actual speaking and traveling.
And then
probably
then you've got coaching clients
Correct.
that you're working with directly.
Yes.
And like we said before, you're a master at helping people shift. And so if someone is trying to grow themselves to be more professional, to be a better leader, to release that baggage, when they reach out to you, they'll either call you on your phone or they'll go to your website, orrinrudolph.com. What's the onboarding process when what would someone expect to experience when they came and approached you to try to work with you?
Well, one of the things that I really want to make sure is that we are compatible, and that the person that I'm dealing with, be it an organization, be it a church, be it an individual, be it that they're wanting to come for coaching or they want me to go and speak at a conference or as a keynote or do a series of seminars at the organization or church, is to make sure that we are on the same page. And I really, truly want to understand. I love to read. I'm an avid reader, and one of the books that I read many years ago was a guy by the name of Stephen Covey, 7 Habits of Highly Effective People. And his second habit says, seek first to understand before you seek to be understood. And one of the keys that I really want to make sure that if you are contacting me and you are reaching out to me, is that I can really and truly understand the need that you have. Because if I don't truly understand what the need is, the area that you are they are wanting to convey and they need help in, I'm not going to be able to know whether I can help. I don't have a boxed, a canned thing. I treat everybody or every organization as an individual or as a entity in its own right that has its own needs, its own desires, its own wants. And so I'll be very, and speaking to those that are watching here, I'll be candid with you. If I don't feel that I can help you, if I don't feel that I have the necessary skill set, I will either refer you to someone I know is better, or I will just, tell you that I don't. But if I do find a compatibility, if I do feel that, and honestly, a lot of people are going to need to learn to let things go. There's
It's
in areas.
huge.
Yeah,
I mean,
huge.
that is such a big deal. But I will say this, Orrin, if you're watching the show, if you do find compatibility with Orrin, if you do connect with him and he's able to work with you, Orrin has a real amazing talent to take the diffused light that we tend to emit like a flashlight and begin to hone it down to where it becomes more like a laser. And then all of a sudden you begin to be propelled and break through those things in your life that are holding you back. And so, I'm just like, connect. I'm so grateful for what you've done.
And just taking that analogy a little further, I think so many people have this kind of, like you're saying, this sieve, that this blockage that their light shines through, that splits their ray, splits the power of their ray. And the key is to really find that area, or areas, be it in an organization, be it in a church, that is diffusing or splitting the power that can be emitted. And if we remove that, if we get in there and we really remove that with real concentrated training, teaching, coaching, speaking, whatever it is, to really unlock that and remove that, as you say, we are more effective when we're laser focused. And that is one of the areas that I'm really passionate, is to help people, as you were saying, get more laser focused in the area that they are working in.
I'm always amazed at what you're able to do with folks, and I know you what you did for me, you've done for lots of people, and so as we're looking at this series about Orrin Rudolph and what he's been able to do and what he's doing for others, I just encourage you folks, connect to him. Now, if you were to really give a call out of encouragement and a call to action, what would that be to the person that needs to hear your voice right now?
Well, my call of action is this, is don't allow areas or others to steal the life that you have been given away from you. Don't allow circumstances, people, the past, to take away from what your future has in store. One of the biggest things that I see with people is that they are so caught up in the past and so fixated on the past that they cannot see the future. Their future is clouded. When you remove that fixation off of the past, your future becomes clearer. And so I want to encourage you to find a way, be it that you read the book or be it that you hire me or whatever the case might be, to throw off the weight of the past and grab hold of what your future holds.
Thank you so much, Orrin. Folks, it's been such an honor having Orrin on the show today, and I hope you've enjoyed these shows. And if you do, make sure you share them out. Connect to us, connect to Orrin and everything, all the social media, LinkedIn, Facebook, Twitter, whatever. And also, I'd love for you to connect to the things that I've been able to create with this show, to use it. I hope it's blessing you. I hope it's helping you. And thank you again for being on the Business Spotlight. This is Pat Dewar, and we'll see you next time.